Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Prahlada Lada Daine. Hiranyakashipu Rakshaha. Shrilatanka Lakhalaye. Ito Narsimha Padato Narsimha. Yato Yato Yamitato Narsimha. Yato Yato Yamitato Narsimha. Bahe Narsimha Ritaye Narsimha. Narsimha Madim Sharanam Prapade. Kavakara Kamala Vare Nakham Adhuta Shringam Galita Hiranyakashipu Tanobringa Keshavadriya Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Narasimhadev, Jai Narasimhadev. Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa. Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare. Jayo Narasimhadev, 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 Jayo Narasimhadev. Jayo Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jayo Prahlad Maharaj. Jayo Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Jayo Jayo Prabhupada. Jayo Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Jayo Jayo Prabhupada. श्री नरसिंह देव भगवान की जय। Bhaktaraj Prahlad Maharaj ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Jantai Gaura Premanande Hari 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 Bol.
Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivrajaka Charya Sattva Sattva Sisimat. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivrajaka Charya Sattva Sattva Sisimat. His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki. Prem Se Gausi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath. Shyama Kunda Radha Kundi Giri Govardhan ki. Sri Vrindavan Dham ki. Navadvip Mayapura Dham ki. Nuri Munadam ki. Gangamai ki. Yamunamai ki. Bhakti Devi ki. Tulsi Devi ki. Harinam Sankirtan ki. Brihat Pradanga ki. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki. All glories to the assembled devotees. Glories to the assembled devotees. Glories to the assembled devotees. Glories to Shri Guru Shri Gauranga. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale. Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namani. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Vicharini. Irvishisha Sunyavati Paschatya Satarini. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Can I request everyone to please be seated and look towards your right hand side? Hare Krishna. Can you all hear me loud and clear? Yes? If you can you all be seated and look towards your right hand side? Thank you. Hare Krishna. So thank you once again everyone for joining us today for the Sunday Feast program. Outside it's too gloomy, but inside it's so happy to see your lovely faces here, and you took the right decision to come here to be in the association of devotees, to attend Kirtan, and of course to have darshan of Shri Shri Radha Kirchor Gopinath. Now you know the spiritual drill, right? And what is that? Shri Shri Radha Kirchor Gopinath ki? Oh, that was like an outside weather, so gloomy. It can be louder. One more time. Shri Shri Radha Kirchor Gopinath ki? Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki? Shri Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani ki? Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki? Okay, thank you so much. Before, I know a lot of you are settling down right now. Can I request everyone to be seated? So it's exactly 6:30. We'll have this session. We're going to have one spiritual session that's going to be till 7:15. At 7:15, we'll have amazing prasadam for you all, right? I'll come back again, but today we're going to have this session, and that is about the kirtans. How many of you have ever participated in a kirtan? Yeah? That's it? How many of you have not participated in kirtan before? What were you doing just now? Just a minute before. Was it not a kirtan? Somebody said break dance? Okay, yes, so they were doing dance as well. So that was kirtan. So you're all participated in a kirtan. So today's session is going to be about the kirtan and how we need to do kirtan and other things. But the details, I let the speakers do that. And the speaker today is His Holiness Bhakti Marg Swami Maharaj. Now, how many of you know His Holiness Bhakti Marg Swami Maharaj here? Okay, how many of you are joining here for the first time? A lot of you. Okay, so can we give them, so all those people who are seasoned and who have been coming to the temple, can you give all those ones who are coming here for the first time a huge Haribol by putting both your hands up in the air? Both your hands up in the air. Haribol! 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 So this is for all those who joined us for the first time. Thank you for joining us. So for everyone's, for Maharaj's quick introduction, his name is of course Bhakti Marg Swami Maharaj, and we have Raj Prabhu here giving the garland. Thank you Prabhu for welcoming Maharaj. Well actually when we welcome Maharaj, Maharaj is the one who has welcomed most of us here into this temple. For one reason, that it's been last half a century, which means it's 50 years that he is a monk. How many of you know about Srila Prabhupada? The founder Acharya of ISKCON, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada. So he is the disciple of Prabhupada, and he's also an initiating guru. So from last 50 years, he has been a monk. But very interestingly, he's also called as the walking monk. And why he's called the walking monk? Because I think many of us know, he has walked across Canada, not once, not twice, not thrice, but 4 times. He has walked across Canada from east to the west coast. And it's not just Canada, he has also walked across United States, Ireland, Fiji Islands, and Trinidad, Mauritius, Guyana, and so many, Israel, and so many other countries. So that's all places that he has walked. And when people ask, why do you walk so much? He walks so that he can raise friends. He can tell more and more people about Krishna. And of course, he can chant and do kirtan everywhere. So certainly, he has a very global and an international experience of doing kirtan. And today specifically, he's going to tell about kirtans and how we need to actually do the kirtan, in what mood, and everywhere. So thank you so much, Maharaj, and we'll give it to you.
Thank you so much. Om Jnanatamarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militangina Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest ignorance. My spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I'm just going to ask what Vallabhari did. If you could just slide in a little closer. There's big gaps there. Some people come in a little bit late. Yeah, that's good. Nice and cozy. After all, we're experiencing the October chill. So we'll begin. The presenters here for this very important workshop are myself and Vallabhari, who just spoke to you, and also Rukmini Devi Dasi, who's right over there by the screen. Yes, okay, good. So we'll be sharing in our presentation here. This is important. I'm wondering if Vishaka could help us just get the lights down, as I asked you, if you could get the lights down, as many as possible. Okay, so we can be effective here. These lights here under the balcony, I think they can go out, as well as some of the upstairs. Yeah. Okay, so we're in the Halloween mood here, spooky. Okay, this will be informative. The other day, someone sent me an email. I don't know who the person was, just somebody from out of the blue said, I love Radharani. This is what it said. I love Radharani. Can I just chant Radha's name? Radha, Radha, Radha. And I said, absolutely not. Okay. And the reason is because we have a protocol to follow. We have a tradition, you know. Radha never stands alone. She's always with Krishna. Now, for those of you who are kind of new, Radha is the consort, eternal consort of Krishna. Krishna is the divine masculine God. Radha is the divine feminine God. They together are one. Good. So now what we just did was kirtan, and kirtan has standards like anything else. If you enroll in some kind of job, they have standards that you follow, right? Based on experience, tradition, after going through the trial and error. This works, that does not work, okay? So we'll move along, okay? Okay, workshop topics. Do we need standards? Is it needed? Okay, some people are saying yes. Do I have any no's? The reason why I bring that up is because some people just think, I'll just do whatever I want. It has to come from my heart, you know? If I'm going to have a connection with God, then I should do whatever I want. I don't need to have anyone to tell me what to do. Is that a healthy atmosphere, attitude? I don't think so. Okay, who sets the standards? Why do we chant? Where do we chant? Roles and responsibilities and various techniques. Okay, let's move along. Rukmini, can you read this?
So I know we've said this a couple of times now, but is there a need for standards within ISKCON? So let's take a look. Let's see if it starts. You can hear the music over here.
Oh, great. Okay, that's why we need to test this beforehand.
So I'm going to say another disclaimer is that this is a presentation that we use for a larger workshop that lasts a full day. So we did a lot of technical maneuvering today to get this presentation up, and yet it's still not the one that we want. So we apologize in advance. Actually, I apologize in advance that it's not up to speed, but we're going to see some other videos later on.
Oh, well, it's your karma, right?
Yes, it is.
Kirtan needs to be attractive. Let's see what Prabhupada has to say about that. Vallabhari.
Okay, I'm as clueless as you are because I'm going to read the slides.
So I'm sorry, there's supposed to be a quote, but maybe not yet. So, I think we could start here though. Who sets the standards, Balabhari Prabhu?
Oh, who sets the standards? So like I said, Rukmini Mataji, I'm going to be as clueless as everyone here is. I'm also going to be the part of presentation. And I'm just going to do the reading work, and that's going to be behalf of everyone else. So I will be as curious as each one of you are here, just to understand what's happening next. So, like you said, who sets the standards? Oh, good question. Who sets the standards, Mataji? Prabhupada. Okay, that was an easy answer. Okay, within these Vaishnav standards, which I have put forward, lies the spiritual strength of our movement.
And that's a
Srila
letter
Prabhupada.
to Sudama, February the 16th, 1973. We'll be giving references to these standards, these statements. Rukmini?
In this age of Kali, practically everyone is like Jagai and Madhai. But the Sankirtan movement inaugurated by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is still flowing like a great river, inundating the entire world.
Okay, if anybody wants to know who Jagai and Madhai is, you can read about them in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. They were born in Brahminical families, and they became very fallen, fell from grace. They were into nasty, naughty things, let's put it like that. So what's being stated here is Jagai and Madhai, fallen people, and we are also somewhat in that category. So we need, to redeem ourselves by participating in kirtan. Vallabhari.
I'm going to Montreal, and if I find Montreal quite suitable, I shall call you and some other students to assemble there to practice Sankirtan in a systematic way.
The story is that Prabhupada came in 1965. He set up a branch in New York City and inaugurated the ISKCON movement in 66. Then he went to the west coast of San Francisco. The third place is right here in Canada, in Montreal, and he had 3 couples, married couples. He was training them how to do kirtan nicely so it would be attractive. Why? Because they were on their way to Britain, to Great Britain, okay, UK, and there they were going to present Krishna consciousness and open up a chapter there. So Prabhupada wanted kirtan to sound nice, to be good.
This is a continuation of the previous quote, but it says, of course, chanting Hare Krishna does not require any artificial artistic sense, but still, if the procedure is presented rhythmically, then the people may be attracted more by the transcendental music.
Some points we want to make. Why do we chant? Anybody have some ideas? Quickly. Why do we chant? Purification. I love that. Yay. What else? Why do we chant?
To feel closer to God.
To get closer to God. Yes. What's another reason? Pleasure of Krishna. Pleasure of God. Yes. What else?
Be dedicated in service.
Huh?
Be dedicated in service.
To
Be dedicated in service.
dedicated in service. Yes. Anything else? Back in the back. Purify. We mentioned a purification. Thank you. It's good to get it reiterated. What else? Huh? It gets you into association. Brings you. Yes, in the back.
Overcome obstacles.
Overcome obstacles.
Overcome the obstacles. Good. How about to have a good time? Party. Let's go. Cheto Darpana Marjanam. To cleanse the mirror of the mind. That's the point that was made by some of you.
Cheto Darpan Marjanam. If you chant always 24 hours without any payment, so it will cleanse. It will cleanse your heart so that you will be able to analyze your position, God's position, the world's position. Then everything will be nicely clear and illuminated.
And
Srila
that was
Prabhupada.
said by Srila Prabhupada in 67, New York City. Move on.
The dirty things in the heart of a conditioned soul are the root cause of all troubles for him. These dirty things of fruitive work and empiric philosophy can be removed only by association with the Supreme Lord.
Thank you.
That's one of my favorite pictures of Srila Prabhupada, by the way, Maharaj.
Oh, thank you for letting me know.
So now we're going to kind of delve a bit more into the importance of chanting nowadays.
Here's a quote from the Srimad Bhagavatam. My dear king, although Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults, there's still one good quality about this age. Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mama mantra, I don't want to call Mama. See, that's why we cleaned up the thing, you know. One can become free from material bondage and be prompted to the transcendental kingdom, okay? That's one good thing about Kali Yuga, the age in which we live. It's a dark time. People are, you know, just catch the news, see what's going on. It's not like heaven. So we need some kind of way of, let's say, bringing some hope to the world. And chanting is a very powerful mechanism for that. Okay.
The importance of chanting today. Actually, we should give more stress in worshipping the incarnation of sound vibration. But whenever there is a possibility of installing deities and strictly following the regulations of worship, we shall do this. But the essential part of our activities is to worship the sound incarnation.
This is very important because in our culture, people come here for darshan. Not just on Sunday like today, but throughout the week. We notice that after the pandemic, there's a greater attendance of people throughout the day and in the evenings for the evening arti, for darshan. But let it be known that more important for darshan or to do puja and participate is to actually engage in chanting the Mahamantra and other mantras related. That is called the sound incarnation of God, and that's what we are recommended to do every day. You know, on your way to work, when doing the dishes, when you're just about to argue with somebody. You know? Anytime, any place is okay for chanting. There's a question of how loud you should be. That's another point. Let's go.
And I think what's helping to see all these quotes by Srila Prabhupada, because we're emphasizing this part of the standards, not just kirtan, but the standards behind it, we're also hearing from Srila Prabhupada the actual depth of what we're doing, right? I think we can all agree that we've enjoyed the kirtan, we might have participated, clapped, sang, but now we're actually understanding the depth of what we're actually doing. So we're seeing very clearly that Prabhupada is saying that the essential part is the actual worship of the sound incarnation.
Very good.
So
The
we're gonna-
roles and responsibilities of
So
kirtan.
we're not going to get so much into where we chant because we're all in the same location. We're all in the temple room, so we're going to focus on chanting here. But what we wanted to discuss here is, you know, everyone plays a role, whether it's someone who's singing, the person who's playing the musical instruments, and actually even all of the audience, which includes everyone here. So we're going to kind of delve a bit deeper into those roles and responsibilities and what that looks like.
I'm also glad Maharaj mentioned already about where and when, while you're going to your work or wherever you are, and specifically before you are getting into an argument with anyone else. So yeah, you can chant anywhere. That's of course one thing. And talking about the roles and responsibilities, okay, I'll read this quote. My special instruction to you all is that you practice Sankirtan very rhythmically and in a responsive way. That means one should chant first and others should follow him.
Okay. Recently, I was in a temple elsewhere in Canada, and it's kind of a new community that we built up. It was Janmashtami. A lot of people came, and it took me a good 20 minutes to help the people understand. I'm chanting, I'm leading the mantra, and then now you respond. So, you know, it took a little while. It wasn't that easy. So I responded, I said, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Then it goes back to me, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. You've got it. You're experienced.
Can I ask how many people did not know that fact? It's okay, you can put up your hands. We're not going to count, we're not going to name you out or anything like that. Okay, not bad.
Okay.
I think some of you are lying. but that's
You'll
okay.
find that if you keep chanting and you don't have a break, then you'll get exhausted very soon. So that's one of the reasons for the receiving and responding technique. You know, thank you.
And also, all of us might not be the blessed singers like me. I'm just kidding. So it's always good to follow someone who's leading the kirtan. Okay.
So the three main responsibilities or roles during a kirtan, we have the leaders who are leading the chanting as Marge demonstrated right now, supporting. I don't know why that G went there, but
Because if you're from Guyana, you say, support them. Must have some Guyanese people here. I say that with affection. Support them.
so supporting can include those, as you can see in the picture, people who are playing the kartals, which are the hand cymbals that you see, or the mridanga, or any other instruments. And you also have the responders, so the people who are following the chant, which is mainly the audience.
Before we detail the practical responsibilities of these roles, please discuss the spiritual qualities they must all share. Okay, we'll go to that. Okay, which spiritual responsibilities do all these roles have in common? I hope the answer's coming.
I think this was a question.
Was it a question? Go ahead, lead.
Okay, which spiritual responsibilities do all three roles have in common? Is there a spiritual responsibility that whether you're a leader or you're a supporter or you're a responder, but there is one spiritual responsibility which is common amongst all the three roles? To please Krishna?
To please.
Desire to please Krishna. Anyone else?
Anybody else?
To be
Shout
closer
it
to
out.
Krishna.
Yeah.
I think people are saying chanting, that they are chanting. Is that correct? Yeah, I think some people are saying that. Any other thoughts? Okay. Could you say that louder? Being devoted. Okay.
Being devoted. How about even just playing a humble role? Approach it with humility, right? Take a modest position. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada's quote here, he must be himself always enthusiastic and inspire others to be always enthusiastic. Then he is a real leader. We're talking about leader in kirtan. A good kirtan leader is someone who can enthuse everybody. And I just want to say, one of the major themes behind this presentation is inclusiveness. Two things, inclusiveness, and the other theme is what did Prabhupada want of us? Okay, so it's really important. So I was at another temple just recently, and one person was leading on the harmonium, and he was singing, and he was also responding over the mic. So people were a little confused. Well, when do we respond? Like he didn't give that break. He was also in a little bit of a bubble, no doubt full of bhakti and devotion, but he didn't really use the eye contact. Now it's your turn. So everyone, the dancing was terrific, but everyone was quite confused about when to chant and when not to chant. Do you understand what I'm saying?
And in certain circumstances like that, what ends up, the sentiment that might come off is that it's more of a performance. So if someone is just singing, it's almost that as an audience member, you're just witnessing what they're doing, but what happens to your mouth? You're not really singing along, right? And the whole point is for the leader, because they're enthusiastic, they're getting everyone else to also chant. And we'll see that in a couple more slides too.
And just before that, Rukmini Mataji, just this slide, yeah. I don't know if you remember, Maharaj, and I know this is out of the presentation, but I asked you this question once because I was attending Mangal Aarti for a long time. And how many of you know what is the time of Mangal Aarti? What's the time of Mangal Aarti? Yeah? Anyone has been to Mangal Aarti before? How many of you have been there? Okay, so what's the time of Mangal Aarti? 4:30 in the morning. And Maharaj was leading the Kirtan 4:30 in the morning, and it was many days that I was there. And then 4:30 in the morning, it becomes too, it's a little challenge to get up in the morning and do that. And I said, Maharaj, how are you always so enthusiastic? How is that possible? Even at 4:30 and 5, you make everyone dance and you're singing and you're always enthusiastic. And that's so great to know that Srila Prabhupada also puts out here, that that's one of the qualities of a leader, is to be always enthusiastic, of course, irrespective of the time that we were doing it. So thank you, Maharaj, for always
I
motivating.
didn't ask you to say that.
But I'm thankful to you for motivating me for getting up in the Mangalarti and for always being so enthusiastic and sharing that and enthusiasm. So
Okay, thank you. And we want to mention also, it's not about it's not a performance necessarily. It's a service, So even if someone's a little extroverted in their presentation, it's with the purpose to involve people as much as possible, to get people to dance. I still have images of asking Mahabhagavata to get into the circle and dance while chanting. Do you remember that? I did that a few bazillion times. Perhaps. Okay. All right, leaders. This is a beautiful picture of Yamuna Devi, my god sister of mine. She's from the States and she's no longer with us, but she sings that beautiful version. Govindam Adi Purusha Tama Bhajan. Okay, that's enough. We don't have any more time. We're ready. Okay, Prabhupada is saying to the leaders, for the present, you may join Sankirtan party because I know that your presence will enliven everyone. This is what he's saying to one of his female disciples. He felt she was a good person to lead the kirtan.
Whenever there were guests, Prabhupada almost always sang the standard Hare Krishna tune or some similarly very simple melodies.
Oh, let's talk about that for a second. Simplicity. Like we have leaders sometimes who just go way off the scales and they're somewhere over the rainbow. And you wonder, could you sing so that everybody can follow? Make it a simple melody that everyone can. And again, it's not about you. It's not a performance. It's for Krishna, right? So make it so that inclusiveness can be realized. Everyone can play a role in it all.
So Maharaj, I have a quick question here.
I don't know if I can answer it. Go ahead.
So the question is, like you said about the simple tune versus somebody, I know there are a few people who are, advanced singers and all that. Of course, like everyone knows, I'm not. So, there are, but I've seen them, like it also mentioned, Prabhupada said that, at the congregation gatherings and big places, he would sing in a very simple and a tune. So I would probably, if I have to give an example of a very complex tune, then it would be Hare Krishna, and it's difficult for me to follow.
Yeah.
So what would be the simple tune? Do you have an example of that?
When we talk about the Prabhupada tune, usually it goes something like this, various versions. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you.
I think
Good.
we clearly missed the second slide, which we differentiated between leaders, responders, and what was the third category?
Supporting.
And musicians. And we're supporting. We all started together, but good to be together, to be in the same mood. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, let's move along.
So this is a pastime of Narada Muni. Have many of you heard of Narada Muni? Hands up. Yeah? He's a celestial being. He
He has a
travels all
top
through-
knot here, and he has a, he has
veena.
a veena, and he plays, and he's like a sadhu. Wears his colored clothes.
So Maharaj actually found this story or pastime of Narada Muni that highlights the importance of not just singing, but singing melodiously. And it's a bit comical, but I think you'll all enjoy it. So starting off, once while traveling throughout the universe, Narada Muni came to a planet inhabited by many beautiful people. They lived in gorgeous palaces, dressed in splendid clothes, and were ever engaged in singing and playing on musical instruments. However, they were all deformed. Some had no feet, some no ankles, and some no knees. Some had twisted hips, some had shriveled thighs, some had disfigured torsos, some had loose teeth, some had hunched shoulders, some had bowed heads, and some had no necks. Astonished, Narada Muni asked them who they were. The people unhappily replied, "We are the personified ragas. We have become deformed by the sage Narada Muni." Mad with love, he sings the wrong melodies at the wrong time, with the wrong notes, and without proper rhythm. In this way, he has broken the limbs of our bodies.
Break a leg.
Narada inquired from the ragas how his fault could be rectified. They directed him to, my apologies. They directed him to propitiate the goddess Saraswati. He then learned from her the science of music and became an unrivaled musician. The end. So very quickly, you can see that Narada Muni, I don't think there's any doubt that he has great love for Krishna, that he's dedicated all, thoughts that we all came up with beforehand. But the fact that he was singing too much in the air, as Marge was saying, or singing in his own bubble, he caused the deformation of the personified ragas. So there is, of course, a place for love, but there's also a huge place for standards as well.
Yeah. Have you ever been to a kirtan where people sing off key and just, oh my God, oh, and you don't want them to stop, you don't appear to be rude to them, but nevertheless there has to be a standard, because that's, I can understand this story very well, because if someone sings way off and they think they're really good, especially, and then you just cringe, oh my God, you block the ear, so I can understand. I definitely don't want to lose my neck and legs and things like that.
It was very clear about those deformations.
Prabhupada used the word, do things nicely. He always used that word nice an awful lot. So you may not be super professional, but do it nice, melodiously, so that people will be attracted, okay? And I want to just say one more thing. If you are tone deaf, that means you're not very proficient in a musical sense. Please don't sing loud and spoil the broth, so to speak. Let it carry on, sing. And if you have a little hard time taking a little direction from someone who says, you're a little bit off key, Prabhu, from, say, like a person who's a little experienced, don't take it so personally. They're just trying to help you, okay? Hare Krishna.
I think this next quote helps in understanding this.
The devotee, by service mood, bhaktya, only can gradually know the personality of Godhead.
As Marge was saying that, don't take it so personally. If we're all serving in a service mood, it becomes much easier to follow that.
A good kirtan leader personally tastes the nectar of the holy name and helps others to relish it also. He doesn't just stand with his eyes closed. He interacts with other devotees and encourages them to dance and chant enthusiastically. See? She's extending her hand. Come on, you get involved. That's the idea. Okay. Sweet and melodious.
Leave it soft.
That's good enough. You get the idea. It's melodious. It brings you into the spiritual realm, the Paramdhama. Okay?
So again, these are just examples of sweet and melodious, and I apologize that the volume's not louder, but we'll hear another one.
Again, it's your karma.
Yes, Marge.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare.
And this is His Holiness Bhakti Chira Swami, who's also no longer with us. He's in a better place. Hare, Hare.
So we're going to move on to supporting musicians. So those who are playing, again, the kartals, you may have seen the hand cymbals, the mridanga, which is the large clay drum, the harmonium, which is a pumped keyboard, Some people also play guitar and other instruments, but here we're going to speak about, first and foremost, respect for the instruments.
Okay, this is a room somewhere in a musician's like storage where they're keeping their instruments. Would this be a good example of respecting, showing RESPCT to your musical instruments? No way.
Not at all.
Yeah, and your mother would get on your case.
It should not look like this.
All right. How do we take care of Krishna's sacred instruments? You know, like saying, for instance, the Bhagavad Gita. You know, it's a sacred text. And sometimes I find the books are all over the place, not well looked after. Same thing with sacred sounds. In the Kurukshetra war, the warriors, they really took care of their instruments, meaning their weapons. They would do yajna for them. Brahmins would chant for them. They even gave names to their weapons. They were practically worshipable, you see. So what to speak of, our musical instruments have to be treated with RESPCT.
So sometimes you may have noticed in a kirtan that the melody is very beautiful. You can follow along. But there's one thing that's getting in the way. There's way too loud mridangas or way too kartals that you can't actually hear the Mahamantra itself.
Yes, and of course, if you're kind of young, no offense, you want to have an experience like being in a rave or a rock concert. So everything has to be super loud and very extremely noisy. If it doesn't break your eardrums and do major damage, then it's not proper, it's not right. Okay, I'm being sort of facetious there. Too loud. Most of the time in our temples, the instruments are played very much louder than the singer's voice. Often only the musical instruments are heard and the actual glorification of the Lord is barely heard. According to the rules, instruments should be subordinate to the actual singer. Okay? Is that an experience? Yay? Nay? Yay. Okay, so some of you out there, how many people lead kirtan here? Okay, great. So is that your experience sometime? It's just like a big and you feel like there's, you know, several Harley Davidsons in here. And they're, you know, and you will damage your hearing instruments.
And I think both supporting and subordinate are helpful in understanding where the musicians lie in the kirtan. Because if the musicians are there to keep time, right? Part of it is to help to keep the rhythm. And if they are either too loud or going too fast, it becomes very hard for the leader to continue on. And again, this service mood gets lost in all of that.
Mm-hmm. The instruments are there to support the mantra. See, that's the most important thing. And we see sometimes people are very, very enthusiastic to participate and support the kirtan. That's great. You got an extra mridanga, but why does it have to be so loud? You know? Why does that? Keep it down a little bit. Let the mantra prevail. Okay? Sometimes I feel like slapping somebody. They just, you know. Yes, Baba, you got a comment?
Sometimes the musicians, I mean, they get excited.
Yeah.
And they don't realize how loud they're playing, but they're super excited. They're into the kirtan and they're super loud because of that.
We understand that their hormones are exploding.
I want to share an example of one of the excitement of devotees. He was playing drums, and then he was so loud that Maharaj has asked, by nature your drums are very loud, you don't need a mic on your drums. He said, I will show you without mic also I can be louder. And then he went on banging. I don't want to name that devotee, but he banged so many of the drums that day, and his only purpose was, he said, I want to make sure everyone knows that I'm playing the drums.
Yeah. And also, it's not just the drums, but the kartals, you know? The hand cymbals. It's like heavy metal kirtan. Heavy metal kirtan. It's so loud, and it just really disturbs the ears. In fact, we've been in public places where the kartals are so loud, people just go like this, and that means we've lost our purpose, you know? our purpose is to make it attractive and have people come and participate. We have a quick hand over there. Yeah, run it over there. We'll just have to get you to say in the mic, otherwise.
Is it okay to videotape the mantras?
If which?
Videotape the mantras?
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm on my bike and I'm riding all the way to the West End, and it's usually a 45-minute drive. But when I listen to these mantras and chants and instrumentalists, I do it in 20 minutes. It's like me, my bike, like I'm in harmony with. It's just, it gets me so passionate and enthused.
So the music is giving you
Drives
speed.
me. It just, I don't know what the right word is, but I go faster and I love it, and I'm just getting right into it.
Have you got
addition-
headphones on when you're?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
and additionally, I find it, I don't really like meditating. I like exercising better. But when I come here and I listen to the music, I get connected to my breath. So it's very nice.
Very nice, thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Quality versus quantity. That's the point that we're riding on here, okay? So look at all those mridungas. Do we really need that many? Even on Yonge Street, you know, you only need a certain amount when we do Rath Yatra. Of course, some people prefer djembes, and that's another thing. When you're in public forums, it's all right to bring in other drums. Generally in the temples, we prefer to stick to traditional instruments. And even as strange as it may seem, Prabhupada wasn't so favorable to having harmoniums as part of the kirtan. Harmoniums came from Europe, from Germany or France in the 1800s. But of course, India has sort of embraced it, just like they have tea and what else? Well, television. Well, the whole world has done that. Okay, less is more. In kirtan, all musical instruments, including the mridanga, drum, and kartals, hand cymbals, must be played in a mood of serving the kirtan, not controlling it. Okay. Can you...
I think it plays.
Is that going to work for us? Thoughtfully, not like these two monkeys, okay? Thoughtfully, I guess that's all mileage we're going to get on them. Watch. This is Prabhupada playing the kartals. I guess it's not going to come through. Our apologies. Kartals, the hand cymbals. Krishna consciousness means compassion. So we have to be aware that many people are sensitive to metallic sounds. There are many reports of people leaving kirtans because the kartals clanging causes physical pain. Sometimes people play them so they're like dustbin lids, you know, whompers. Here's something from the Kirtan Standards book. Mridanga and kartal should be played together harmoniously to enhance the transcendental sound vibration of the holy names. Kartals should be chimed sweetly, like gopis' ankle bells. They should not be clanked together like dustbin lids. Okay? So we would suggest that, say you're very enthusiastic, oh, I want to participate, I want to get... If you don't know how to play, and you haven't had any lessons with kartals or drum, we may suggest that don't pick them up. Leave them where they are, and just let some experienced people do it. And if you want to learn the art of playing these instruments, we do have lessons available for them. Who should they contact for that? Yeah, we do have some lessons for mridanga playing, harmonium. So I guess we can take it to...
They can email info@torontokrishna.com. I help serve that email address so I can direct you to the right person.
Okay,
So
great.
this is just one example of sweet kartals or sweet kartal playing by Bibi Govindamar.
who used to live here.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
You can hardly hear the cartels, but they're in the background. They're supporting what's going on here. Good. We're going to have to wrap it up really soon.
Yes, Marge. So, Marge, would you like to go on to the dancing part?
Oh, gee. I don't know if we have time. What time do we usually finish here?
7:15.
Pardon me? Yeah, we might have to do part 2 next time when I'm around here. I think we're doing good. Has everyone learned something from this? I see thumbs up. I see. Okay, thank you. There's a lot more to go through, and of course we hear sometimes people chanting all kinds of questionable things, and you know, you wonder, where did that come from? Even you'll be surprised, Jai Gurudev, Prabhupada didn't like it. So we generally don't do that in this temple when I travel around. He made it very clear, Jai Gurudev. There's reasons for it. And other things. There's chanting that you can get away with. Nitai Gaur Haribol, Haribol, for instance, and he never gave that to us. He never gave that mantra to us. He kind of tolerated, you can say. But so those are things to consider. Again, our themes are inclusiveness, and of course humility, and also what did Prabhupada want of us when it comes to kirtan. The reason, if you don't have standards, and I'll wrap it up soon, if you don't have standards, then what will happen? We'll go into all strange directions, and we'll become labeled as sahajas. And before you know it, Krishna's name won't be in there anymore. It can easily happen. We see it within 1 year, if you don't give some direction, people will just go into all kinds of crazy places with the kirtan. So standards are very necessary. Okay, I guess we'll have to end it there, and we have to go for the rhythm of eating Mahaprasadam. And but I thank you very much, and I'd like to thank Vallabhari and Rukmini and for the presentation.
Hare Krishna. So thank you, Maharaj, for involving us, and let's thank Maharaj as well. He has a very busy schedule, and despite that fact, he was here today. So let's all thank him by chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and this time we'll all do it together with full devotion and with the best melody that we know, which is a simple one. Okay, put your hands up in the air, everyone together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you everyone for joining us today, and once again thank you Maharaj for this wonderful presentation on the Kirtan standards. So quick announcements before we head to the Prasadam.
We will do part 2 some other time.
Yes, so we will also do the part 2, which will be some other time, because Maharaj is traveling on Tuesday. He just came back from the West trip, and he's traveling again on Tuesday. So whenever he's back, we'll schedule a part 2 of this session. Okay, how many of you know there are 12 months, right? And in Hindi calendar or in Vaishnav calendar, each month is called Mas. But Damodar month, the Purushottam Mas, Damodar Mas is considered to be the most auspicious Mas. And a lot of devotees do, they do Deep Dan as well, which is they take the deep and they also worship it. How many of you know about Damodar month? Okay, very nice. And how many of you know when is Damodar month starting? 30th of October? Okay. 29th of October? Yes, it's starting on 29th of October. So keep attending the sessions or keep a note on your WhatsApp group. We'll keep giving you details because we get a lot of queries about Damodar Mas, so we'll tell you about Damodar Mas. Second thing, how many of you know about Krishna Fun School? Anyone who knows about Krishna Fun School? You know about Krishna Fun School? What do you know about that? Quickly. Are you a part of Krishna Fun School, by the way? No. So how many? So Krishna Fun School is specifically for Sunday. We have Krishna Fun School. That's for age 3 to 17. If you need to have more information on that, you can check out the notice board. Also, they have Gita contest, which is coming up. So if you have kids who are from 3 to 17 years of age, it's a perfect time to get them enrolled. It's a perfect time to enroll for this Gita contest, and they will definitely love that. That's happening. The Gita contest is happening on December the 2nd. Also, want to let you know that the Bhagavad Gita virtual classes have started for kids and for adults just a week before. Any more information, of course, is on the notice board. And one last information, we have the Bhakti Vriksha classes, which have started in person, happening on Sundays between 4:30 p.m. and 6 p.m. A lot of time, and that happens in the basement, yes? So they will be led by different people. We would let you know about that. But the best part is that a lot of devotees come to us and they say that we need to be the part of some focus group. Of course, you come here, you tell us about everything, but if there are any focus group happening... Oh, thank you so much for participating. Hare Krishna. Hari Bol. Can you all wave to them? Hari Bol. Okay, Ma Bhagavad Prabhu was trying to grab their attention. So thank you, we can hear your conversation. Thank you very much. Okay, now they're quiet. So yeah, you can be a part of Bhakti Vriksha group, which happens every Sunday, 4:30 to 6 p.m. All that information will be available at the reception or at the notice board. Once again, thank you everyone for coming, and you can enjoy the scrumptious prasadam now. On that note, can one last time we all have Hari Bol, loud and clear? Hari Bol! Yes, we also want to introduce the teacher. By the way, before I introduce the teacher, I also want to thank today's cooks. So we have Sucharu Padma Mataji and the team. I don't know if she's here, Sucharu Padma Mataji, and anyone who cooks today for us. So can we hear a huge Hari Bol for them? Hari Bol! Come on, you're going to relish this amazing, scrumptious, lip-smacking prasadam today. But let's thank our cooks. One more time for Sucharu Mataji and everyone. Hari Bol! Also for the donors, there are donors who are the ones who sponsor today's feast, and they want to be anonymous because they're doing this in the memory of their forefathers. On that note, we have one of the Bhakti Vriksha leaders here. Prabhu, so you're conducting 4:30 to 6 p.m. every Sunday. Do you want to say something to...
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. I'm Gaurang Pavandas. So I'm conducting Bhakti Vriksha every Sunday evening, 4:30 to 6 p.m. It's conducted in the conference room in the temple basement. So I would request you all to attend because as we all know, as part of Krishna consciousness, that everything is controlled by Krishna. And the science behind Krishna consciousness is given by him in Bhagavad Gita. And practically how to apply the teachings of Bhagavad Gita in our day-to-day life, that is something that we can learn as part of Bhakti Vriksha. So be part of it every Sunday evening, 4:30 to 6. And whatever queries that you have, you can resolve it directly. I can act as your mentor to tell you everything about Krishna consciousness. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, everyone. Once again, you can enjoy the wonderful prasadam. And we would definitely lead some volunteers after prasadam. So you can always come here and speak to Murli Krishna Prabhu. Hari Bol.
Rasta. Yeah.